I met Jenna Jaden a little over a year ago. We just ran into each other, or she ran into me is more like it. At the time, I wasn't part of the Highview Environmental Reclamation Organization. I had just started middle school, of all things, and my biggest concern was suddenly having no recess for the rest of my life. Not that I loved recess, just that it usually smelled better outside school than inside it. Imagine being able to hear and smell it every time a kid loses his lunch in the trash can, and you'll know what I mean. And of course, there was all the other junk that came with the move to middle school, having to learn how to operate a locker, having more than one teacher to suck up to each year, organize sports teams, which gave guys who like to pick on guys like me even more occasions to bond and slap each other on the butt. Having to get up early to catch the bus, having to stay up late finishing homework, girls whispering and pointing even more than usual, guys who like to pick on guys like me, picking on me even more than usual to impress girls who whisper and point, that sort of thing. I ventured into middle school with very few friends in tow. Being able to hear everything that anybody says about you tends to make you selective in who you hang out with, and I was cagey about my power even before I became a member of H.E.R.O. Most of my friends from Crestwater Elementary split during the summer. My friend Max headed a private school, and my neighbor Josh had to move to North Carolina when his father was reassigned to a new Army base. The other kids in my neighborhood, the few who were even my age, were more casual acquaintances than friends, which left me basically alone going into a new school. Then along came Jenna. When we first met, I didn't know she had a 15-foot vertical leap, that she had lightning-quick reflexes, or that she could bench press 20 of me stacked one on top of the other. Maybe that's because Jenna couldn't. The Silver Lynx could, and I didn't meet her until later. When I met Jenna, we made an instant connection. It was 6th grade gym class. Unfortunately, not yet being a member of H.E.R.O, I still had to go to all of my classes, and we were playing kickball. They let me play catcher because in kickball almost nobody misses, and nobody really throws the ball to a base, preferring instead to chuck it at the runner, so there really isn't a lot to do if you are the catcher, except stand behind home plate and hope that Davy Biohazard Hutchinson doesn't let one rip in front of you when he comes up to kick. Then Jenna stepped up. Her hair was pulled back in a ponytail that bobbed with each step. Her green eyes peered through her thick glasses, homed in on the ball like a sniper's sights. Her freckled arms flexed. She was new to town, and nobody knew very much about her. I think she preferred it that way. Crouching behind her, I stared up at the long curve of her neck and shoulders, trying not to look at her butt, which fit nicely in the tight red and blue gym shorts, unlike a lot of girls there. I didn't even realize the ball was coming toward us. And then she took a shot all the way to the back of the gym, actually hitting the ceiling, nearly busting one of the lights. The ball bounced twice before the outfielder could grab it and toss it in. By then, Jenna had already rounded second base. Of course, somebody tried to throw it at her and missed. Instead, the ball bounced right to me. And I actually managed to grab it, just as she was rounding third, me standing directly in her path. And I could hear all the other 6th graders shouting for her to stay on third and for me to throw the ball at her already. And I could hear the slap of her tennis shoes on the hardwood floor, and I could smell everybody because it was near the end of the class and our secretions had mixed together into a miasmatic fog of BO that made my stomach do the mambo. And I could see the look in her ocean eyes, and I could see the wicked and determined smile on her face, and I knew she wasn't going to stop. I should have gotten out of her way.